Hello, can you guys hear me? Hello. Hello, can you guys hear me? Hello. I need to know.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, hi, hi. So, is who is going to coordinate this event? Hi, ma'am. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Chatterjee. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Okay. Do let me know
Okay.
when I can start the session. You let me know. I'll start
Yeah,
accordingly.
just now. If you are prepared, we can start the session.
Okay. All right.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
prepared. I'm absolutely prepared. Okay.
oh,
All right. So, first of all,
oh.
thank you so much for inviting.
Mr. Chatterjee, let me introduce you first.
Okay.
Okay, that's better. So, good morning, students. Good morning, our respected dignitaries, and good morning, our respected colleagues and other faculties of Elite Institute of Engineering and Management. First of all, I welcome you to the session, namely First of all, I welcome you to this session, namely angel investment or VC funding opportunities for artistic entrepreneurs. And myself, Mohua Datta, convener of IIC EIEM, would like to introduce our today's speaker, guest speaker, Mr. Indrashis Chatterjee. Mr. Indrashis Chatterjee is the founder of multiple startup ventures with global recognition. He is also a highly celebrated sales trainer and motivational speaker. At present, he is also working with multiple startups as their mentor and investor. I think today's session is going to be a great learning experience for our students. And I just don't want to waste much time here. And directly over to Mr. Indrashis Chatterjee. Mr. Chatterjee, please.
Sure. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Thank you, ma'am. And thank you so much for inviting me today to have the opportunity to speak to all of you out here. Today, as you people must be knowing, that we would be discussing what exactly it takes for a startup to go ahead and avail funding. Now, I believe all of you who are attending today's session, you guys are either interested in having your own startup or it might be part of your course. I'm not really sure, but either way, I hope this session would be beneficial for all of you. So, when we are talking about funding or when we are talking about investment for a startup, we have to understand few things. The first thing that we have to understand is why exactly a startup requires an investment. But prior to that, I would explain to you the difference between business and a startup. Now, when we're talking about business, we mean we are talking about a regular day to day shop. It can be considered as a business where someone has opened a shop and is selling a particular product. That is a business. But when we are looking at startup, startup is a venture where from day one, that particular venture is looking forward to grow to a big scale. That means from day one, it is planning to go ahead and compete with big conglomerates like Facebook, Google, Yahoo, Bing. So they have a certain vision where a business, they know that, okay, fine, I am running this shop. Maybe I'll open another shop a few days down the line. So that's the difference. Why exactly I mentioned this difference to you? Because this difference plays a major role in getting the funding. So if you are a startup, you have certain technology involved in your startup. That is a very important part of any startup. So if you are planning to grow your venture, if you are planning to, to be one of the leading conglomerates, you need to have everything in place, and you certainly need funding. And as an investor or any other investor, they would be going ahead and looking at your venture at multiple levels. And what are the things that an investor looks into? I'm going to explain that in today's session. I am also going to explain to you what exactly is seed funding, what exactly is angel investment, what are series funding, because there are a lot of things out here and most of us get confused that, what exactly is seed funding, what exactly is series investment, what exactly are different things out there. When you are planning to grow your startup, you need to have proper idea about all these information, so that you can actually go ahead and present the proper pitch to the investor and get your investment accordingly. So the first thing that I'm going to cover today is seed investment. Now, by the word seed, we mean we mean something which is like seed. You need to plant seed to have a to grow a plant, right? So seed means in Bengali or Hindi, we use the word seed like beach. So beach is required. I hope all of you are fine with other than English, Bengali, Hindi. Please kindly let me know, because I can only see your images out here on my screen, which is pretty difficult to communicate. I need someone to go ahead and say, is English, other than English, Bengali, and Hindi, is this fine with you?
Yeah, yeah, it's absolutely fine.
All right. Okay. Sure. So বীজ হচ্ছে when we are planning to plant a tree or যে কোনো গাছ, আমরা বীজ পুঁতে সেটাকে we actually go ahead and take care of the seed, and then it grows. So what happens is, when we are talking about seed investment, it means you have everything in place. You have your venture, you have your plans, you have everything documented, you have your MVP, everything in place. And what you are looking forward to have is a bit of investment from outside for your venture to move to the next level. Now, generally, আমরা যখন দেখি স্টার্টআপসরা বিজনেস স্টার্ট করে, they actually go ahead and, or rather investors prefer to go ahead and check if the startup is depending completely on the investment to start the venture, or they have that capability to bootstrap the entire venture. Bootstrapping means the startup founder, he can go ahead and accommodate finance from his like relatives or friends, বা নিজে কোথাও জব করে সেখান থেকে কিছু স্যালারি জমিয়ে can invest. It's a self-funded venture. So what exactly the investors see, how much the startup founder is confident on his venture that he can invest his money or his friend or family's money in that particular venture. And when you start rolling your venture, when you are approaching an investor, you go ahead and ask them that, okay, I am going ahead and running this particular venture. We have come this far. Now, in order to grow further, I need certain investment coming from you. So, the first investment that any particular venture is looking for is termed as seed investment. Generally, seed investment angel investorরা বেশি invest করে, because angel investors, most of them are they are individuals who are doing well in their own personal ventures. They are business owners themselves, they're entrepreneur themselves, and তারা ওই struggle through the already they have gone through. So angel investors are the best group of people who can guide you to face different challenges when it comes to a startup. And they will also go ahead and help you to fund your business. Maybe angel investors will not help you to give 1 crore or 2 crores directly, but again, generally their investment pattern varies from 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs on particular venture. So তোমাদের যদি কোনো venture 30 lakhs লাগে, you can calculate and have at least 3 4 angel investors on board with whom you can coordinate, and you can have the entire venture planned out. Now, once you start scaling up, once you start growing your business, then you look for different other source of investment. এই যে ডিফারেন্ট আদার সোর্স অফ ইনভেস্টমেন্ট আমরা নিয়ে আসি নিজেদের ভেঞ্চারে, দিস সোর্সেস আর জেনারেলি টার্মড অ্যাজ সিরিজ এ, সিরিজ বি, সি, ই, জি. আমরা generally now, if we follow startup world, we must be seeing every other day some or the other startup is getting funded. কখনো দেখি সিরিজ বি ফান্ডিং হয়েছে, সিরিজ সি ফান্ডিং হয়েছে। সো ইট অ্যাকচুয়ালি গোজ হেড অ্যান্ড সিগনিফাইজ যে কতগুলো ফান্ডিং ঢুকেছে সেই স্টার্টআপটাকে বড় করতে। অ্যান্ড ফাইনালি, যখন জেনারেলি আফটার ইউ রিচ সিরিজ ই অর এফ, a big startup generally goes public limited. That means they go for IPO. That means that helps the entire venture to go to the next level. Uh, Now, what I'm going to discuss with you right now are like 10 steps or 10 to 11 steps that you require or is mandatory for you to go ahead and crack that perfect investment deal for your venture. The first thing that we need to understand, what are the different kind of companies that you form. Now there are three different kind of companies that you form. One is proprietorship firm, the other one is LLP or partnership firm. And the third one is private limited firm. Now, তোমরা যদি first দুটো কাইন্ডে যাও, proprietorship and LLP, funding will not be possible. You won't get funding with proprietorship and LLP firm. You would be getting funding only when you have a private limited company. So you need to ensure that you have the right, right category of people guiding you throughout. You need to have proper legal team or accounting team. Hello, did I lose you guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, sir.
Okay. All right. So we need to have proper legal and accounting team to go ahead and guide us যে আমরা কি ধরনের কোম্পানি ফর্ম করব। In order to form a private limited company out here in Kolkata, it generally takes around 16 to 17,000 rupees. An accountant can go ahead and form. There are certain formalities. The accountant will be going ahead and helping you to form your private limited company. Now, funding is possible only for private limited company or a public limited company, but not for a proprietorship firm uh, or like if you are having an LLP. Now, but again, there are benefits of having proprietorship firm and LLP, যেটা private limited নেই when it comes to tax filing and etc. But again, generally, if you are looking forward to grow, if you are looking forward to have funding on board, private limited is a must. Now, after having a proper legal consultation with your lawyer or having a proper accountant on board, you need to do few things in order to crack your venture, or rather in order to crack your investment for your venture. Let's put it in this way. The first thing is market research. Now, we have to do a lot of market research. যখন আমরা একটা স্টার্টআপ নিয়ে মার্কেটে আমরা লঞ্চ করছি, we have to know that particular market যেটা এই স্টার্টআপটা ডিল করে, we have to know it in and out, so that when us like when the investor who is sitting on the other end, the person will be asking you question, and you need to know everything on board যেটা তুমি ইনভেস্টরকে প্রেজেন্ট করবে, because you need to be well aware of the entire market that particular venture is going to cover. So you need to go ahead and do proper market research. You need to understand যে তোমার স্টার্টআপের কিরম মার্কেট রিচ হচ্ছে। তোমার মার্কেট রিচ মানে হচ্ছে তোমার টার্গেট কাস্টমার কারা। ফর এক্সাম্পল, if you are planning to launch an app like Uber, whatever you may call it, you need to understand তোমার টার্গেট অডিয়েন্স বা টার্গেট কাস্টমার কারা, what are লাইক কোন কোন জায়গায় তুমি সেইগুলোকে সেই অ্যাপটা লঞ্চ করতে পারবে, কারা সেই অ্যাপটা ডাউনলোড করে তোমার পোটেনশিয়াল কাস্টমার হয়ে দে ক্যান সলভ পেইন পয়েন্টস অফ দেয়ার লাইফ। পেইন পয়েন্টস মানে হচ্ছে দ্য প্রবলেম দ্যাট ইউর অ্যাপ ইজ গোয়িং টু সলভ ফর ইয়োর potential users or customers. Now, once you have that proper idea, you can actually make the presentation accordingly. So, coming back to the point, if you're planning to go ahead and incorporate a particular app like Uber, you know that you have your potential customer all over India. কারণ যে traveling is a big thing for all of us when we are obviously not right now during the pandemic period, but post pandemic or pre pandemic period, traveling is a big thing. So this particular app or this particular nature of business is going to go ahead and help the customers who are based all over India. তো তুমি সেই অনুযায়ী you can create your plan and you can present it to the investor, and you can show him how exactly your venture is going to generate revenue in the long run, because we have to keep one thing in mind. আমরা যারা ইনভেস্ট করি একটা ভেঞ্চারে, we go ahead and invest to earn money. We are least interested about anything else. But আমি যদি একজনকে আমি কোনো টাকা দিই ইনভেস্টমেন্টে, we are expecting money in return. সে জিনিসটা অনেকে অনেক startup they do not realize. Many people they go ahead and look forward to start their own venture because they want money. Now that's not how it works. Most of the startup owner or founder যারা ইনভেস্টরদের অ্যাপ্রোচ করে তাদের ক্লিয়ার আইডিয়া থাকে না যে তাদের বিজনেসের ট্র্যাকশন কোথা থেকে হবে, তাদের টার্গেট অডিয়েন্স কারা, তাদের কাস্টমার কারা, তাদের মার্কেট কোন কোন জায়গায় রিচ করবে সেটার ক্লিয়ার আইডিয়া থাকে না। অ্যাজ আ রেজাল্ট দি ইনভেস্টর বিকামস লিস্ট ইন্টারেস্টেড ইন ইনভেস্টিং অন দোজ ভেঞ্চার্স। যদি তোমাদের কাছে এক্সাক্ট ইনফরমেশন না থাকে, ইফ উই ফাইন্ড আউট দ্যাট ওকে ইউ আর জাস্ট আফটার মানি, the investor is not going to be interested to invest in your venture. As a result, there are many startups who get rejected even if they have a good concept because they do not have all those things in place. Other than this, you need to understand যেটা আমি একটু আগে বললাম pain points. That means pain points, this particular term, it means like আমাদের রেগুলার ডে টু ডে লাইফে অনেক রকমের পেইন পয়েন্টস হয়। পেইন পয়েন্টস অ্যাজ ইন লাইক প্রবলেমস দ্যাট উই আর ফেসিং। আমাদের রেগুলার লাইফে আমরা অনেক রকমের প্রবলেম ফেসিং। ট্রাভেলিং এর একটা মেইন প্রবলেম যেটা আমি যেটা আই বিলিভ ওলা অ্যান্ড উবার রিজলভ ফর আস প্রি লকডাউন পিরিয়ড ওয়াজ দ্যাট আমাদের আর্জেন্ট সিচুয়েশনে যখন উই আর ট্রাভেলিং, আমাদের জেনারেলি রাস্তার ইয়েলো ট্যাক্সি বলো বা যাদের গাড়ি নেই বা বাস হয়তো উইয়ার টাইমে উই আর ট্রাভেলিং অড টাইমস অ্যান্ড bus available নয়, and maybe we are not comfortable going ahead and taking a bus. At that point of time, the yellow cab used to say that আমাকে 200 টাকা বেশি দিয়ে দেবেন, 300 টাকা বেশি দিয়ে দেবেন, I will be going ahead and you know taking this drive. Similarly, there are other pain points as well. তো সেই ধরনের যেমন কি হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ অ্যাকচুয়ালি ওয়েন্ট ahead and resolved one of the main pain points, that is আমরা একে অপরকে এসএমএস করার জন্য there were charges, সেটা এখন ইন্টারনেট চার্জেস, আমরা we can go ahead and communicate with our friends, unlimited communication, and we do not have to pay as such as much as we communicate over WhatsApp. So these are the pain points different apps or different businesses are addressing. So you need to understand that তোমার যে business venture, তোমার যে uh, যে particular app বা particular business that you are launching, who are your target customer, what is their pain points, and how exactly you will be resolving those issues. Like when I launched my venture, my journey as an entrepreneur started being a techpreneur or an IT company owner. So when I launched my company, I realized that main problem with the IT field is that large scale business chara, small to medium scale businesses, they fail to go ahead and afford having a proper online presence. Why? Because having a proper online presence is really a costly phenomenon. That means অনেক expensive, যেটা সবাই afford করতে পারে না। And my venture was actually targeting small to medium scale business because we were offering the same service of equal quality at much lesser price to these small ventures or medium scale ventures যেটা large scale venture আছে। So as a result, they get the opportunity to compete with the large scale industries. So I addressed one particular pain point of these business, or all these businesses who are actually going ahead and they were missing out on having a leading online presence. So you have to find out your pain point. You have to understand tomar pain point, tomar or not your pain point, but যে পেন পয়েন্টটা তোমার প্রোডাক্ট বা তোমার সার্ভিস is going to address when it's launched in the market. And when you are going to present this thing to your investor, you need to go ahead and explain to the investor how exactly your product or your service is going to help the potential customer or your regular customer on a day to day basis. কারণ যে আমাদের টার্গেট এই থাকবে বা একজন ইনভেস্টর দেখে যে will a business run on only having new customers, or there is a potential of having repeated customers? Because if we are having repeated customers, then what happens is that the potential for the business to grow enhances to a huge scale. Now after this particular these points like market research, market size, pain points, what is important out here, the next thing that I will want you guys to do a research on is what exactly is the revenue model that you are looking at. Now when I'm talking about revenue model, what I mean is তোমরা যে বিজনেসটা স্টার্ট করবে, obviously this is a business that you are going to operate not because you want to show off to your friends that hey, আমি একটা startup own করছি বা I have a venture where I have people working for me. But again, the main thing is that you want to earn money. The way you want to earn money, the investor who will be investing on your venture, even they will be interested to earn money after investing in your venture. Noile, why exactly will they give you money? They will keep it in the bank and earn interest, right? So you have to go ahead and share your revenue model. যেমন তুমি কি, what are the different areas through which you can actually go ahead and earn revenue? It can be that you can generate revenue online, it can be through offline. You need to go ahead and plan out the entire plan, like for example quarterly তুমি কত revenue generate করে দিতে পারবে নিজের ইনভেস্টরকে, বা you can actually go ahead and show the investor that this is the plan that you are going to follow through which tentative this amount of revenue will be generated quarterly, which is going to go ahead and help you to scale up your business. Scaling up your business is something which an investor is always interested in. কারণ যে তুমি যদি ইনভেস্টরকে দেখাও the value of money, they will be going ahead and not only guiding you, but maybe that তোমার ভেঞ্চারে সে further ইনভেস্টও করতে পারে, or if they are not investing on your venture further, they can refer their friends, because investorদের একটা community থাকে, they are connected to each other, so they can go ahead and introduce you to other investor who can invest in your venture if they see value for money, if they see that okay, this particular venture or this startup founder is sincere about his or her venture or his or her own approach towards the venture. So that is really important. And connecting to the revenue, you have to go ahead and mention what exactly is the ROI, return of investment. That means আমি যদি আজকে ইনভেস্ট করি, আমি রিটার্নে কি পাবো, what exactly is the amount that I'll be expecting, and কত দিনের মধ্যে পাবো. So if you are planning to go ahead and approach an investor, and if it's a like new startup, bootstrap, you go ahead and give them an idea that আমি break even এত দিনের মধ্যে, this is the traction that I'll be generating. Traction means movement in the business, the customer coming in, and revenue generation. So this is the traction that I'll be generating within this particular period of time. I'll be reaching my break even, and after reaching my break even, after this particular time, I am sure that we are going to head towards generating profit. So you need to show money to the investor, because the investor will only be interested to give you money if you go ahead and show him how exactly you can help him to earn money. Otherwise they will not go ahead and listen to you, because most of these investors, অনেক ইনভেস্টর থাকে, I don't know whether you guys are aware, there are many investors out there who do not give you their own money. They are tied up with big conglomerates, and they have the responsibility to distribute their funds to different startup. So if they are distributing the funds to a startup which is not performing, then they are answerable to someone as well. So you have to ensure that you are showing value of their investment, and as well as profitability. That means তোমার কি ধরনের profitability, কতদিনের মধ্যে you can generate profit from your venture, how exactly your venture is going to grow in a certain period of time. You need to present the entire thing to the investor. Now এগুলো তোমরা কি করে করবে, how exactly are you going to do? And this is something which is a valid question, and if this question hasn't aroused in your mind, then I don't know whether you're following me right now or not. Sir, I have a question. Yes, Doipan Bhodro, please go ahead. What's your question? Doipan, I
Can you
cannot.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, yeah, sir. What if I can't able to repay the money on that certain time? Uh, if in this time the pandemic hits the market and like many startups are struggling. So how that will go?
Sorry, I didn't get your question. You're saying that when many startups are struggling, a struggling period, কি করে তুমি নিজে
Because
presentation?
of because of pandemic and like how they repay their investors money,
Okay, that's a
and
good.
if not then what happens? So that.
Okay. See, that is a red light, a red alert for any investor if you ask such questions. That means you do not have, that particular confidence on your startup. That's what exactly an investor will look into. They will not look into how promising is your idea. They will look at your attitude towards your startup. If you are asking me question due to pandemic, আমি যদি না business করতে পারি আমি কি করে return করব টাকা, if that is something, then do not go for an investor right now in the first place. Only go for an investor when you are confident on your venture. That's number one. Number two, if there is a situation, unwanted situation like pandemic, obviously investor যে ইনভেস্ট করছে, even that person is part of this universe, world, earth, kolkata, india, whatever you can term it as. Even that person is well aware that what is the present situation, so obviously you can approach and you can talk to the person and you can go ahead and explain the situation. Verbal communication always works. If you explain to the person the given situation and you go ahead and explain how exactly you are planning to combat and what are your game plan to go ahead and stand up from that particular situation, it may be the investor can help you further. It's not that investor will not help you. It's all about human relationship. তুমি যদি আমার কাছে আসো, let's say I invested around 20 lakhs in your venture, and let's say after pandemic, all of a sudden after I invested, the covid struck and the entire thing is going for a loss, and you come up to me and you go ahead and tell me that, sir, I went ahead and tried to do it, but again I cannot do entire thing properly. As a result, I'm not being able to generate revenue. Obviously আমি এখন এই সিচুয়েশনে I am also seeing my friends getting affected by covid. I'm seeing the pandemic situation. I won't be telling that, Doipan, come on, I need the revenue right now. What I can do is that I can tell you that, okay, obviously if 20 lakh is not, the entire 20 lakh is generally not used up, it's there in your account. I will tell you that instead of 6 months, you take another 6 months to generate business for yourself. Obviously the communication plays a vital role, and you need to ensure that you have confidence on yourself. Strategy is something which should always be there. তোমার সবসময় একটা startup করার জন্য, for example, you have strategy A. So let's say you do not know what exactly is coming ahead in the days ahead, because there are a lot of situations যেটা আসে একটা স্টার্টআপের সামনে, a lot of challenges সেগুলো planned থাকে না. So you need to have a plan B as well. Let's say for example you are starting a particular chain of restaurant, okay, and you took an investment of 1 to 2 crores, let's say, and the pandemic situation did go ahead and affect the particular business. At that point of time, will you stop operating your business? You won't. What you would be doing is that you would be going ahead and working on online promotion of your business, and you would be going ahead and hiring people to go ahead and deliver your food, or rather takeaways for your customers, so that they can go ahead and buy stuffs from you. Yeah, they will not be able to come to your restaurant, but again the business rolls on. So it completely depends on your strategy, how exactly you can go ahead and face a particular challenging situation. It depends on you, the strategy that you are implementing. So do not go ahead, তুমি যখন entrepreneur হয়েছো তার মানে you are not keeping yourself blocked in one particular room. You are actually giving yourself freedom. তুমি এমন একটা জায়গায় নিজেকে নিয়ে যাচ্ছ যেখানে everything is open. There are so many avenues. You have to keep that in mind, and you have to go ahead and choose the right avenue in the right time. তোমার যদি right avenue right time এ তুমি choose করো, what will happen is, whatever is the challenging situation, the business might go down, but you will not be out of business, or you will not be lacking business, or you এমন situation হবে না যে তোমার business বন্ধ করে দিতে হবে. It's completely up to you and your confidence on your venture. Did I make sense, Doipan?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. অলরাইট, কামিং ব্যাক টু দ্য পয়েন্ট, যে আমি এগুলো এই দোপায়নের আনসার দেওয়ার আগে যে পয়েন্টগুলো আমি বলছিলাম, যে মার্কেট রিসার্চ করা, বা ফর এক্সাম্পল হাউ টু প্ল্যান আউট দ্য পেন পয়েন্টস অ্যান্ড হোয়াট আর দ্য প্রফিটেবিলিটি অ্যান্ড আরওআই, এগুলো তুমি কি করে নিজে করবে? ইটস নট পসিবল ফর ইউ টু ডু দি এন্টায়ার থিং ইয়োর সেলফ. What you need to do is that you need to appoint the right CA, chartered accountant. You have to sit down with that person and you have to plan out the entire thing properly. You have to ensure when you are approaching an investor, you need to have the legal aspect taken care of for your company. That's number one. Number two, you need to have all the financial papers of your company in place. That means তোমার যে যে papers গুলো required for your venture to go ahead and avail the funding, you need to have everything in place. So appoint a right chartered accountant, CA, for your business, and that person is going to go ahead and arrange the entire thing accordingly. You go ahead and let that person know that I'm looking forward to take X amount of funding from a particular, let's say, funding a meet toy. You can approach different investor on LinkedIn, or you can approach different investor personally as well. So you need to have all those things in place. আর সেগুলো তোমাকে lawyer and chartered accountant, they will be able to help you with that. Now, other than that, other than all these things, there are a few other things you have to go ahead and take a call all by yourself. Now, একদম প্রথমে, when I started going ahead and talking to you guys, I clearly stated the difference between a business and a startup. The main difference between a business and a startup is that generally business নিজের, for example, a particular dokan, let's say a grocery shop, they will not be going ahead and utilizing technology to that level for their own growth, যেটা একটা স্টার্টআপ ইউজ করে. সো ওয়েন ইউ আর ওনিং আ স্টার্টআপ, ইউ নিড টু প্ল্যান আউট ইয়োর টেকনোলজি, অর যে টেকনোলজি তোমরা ইউজ করবে নিজের ভেঞ্চারকে গ্রো করার জন্য. সো ইউ হ্যাভ টু হ্যাভ আ প্রপার ভিশন, যে আমি, ফর এক্সাম্পল, আই এম লঞ্চিং মাই ওন ই কমার্স. In that e-commerce, I'll be selling, let's say, uh, apparels, or let's say t-shirts. এখন আমরা, we actually see a lot of advertisements on Facebook as well, like bewakuf.com, awara.com. So all these brands were not there, but right now it's there. I think Bewakuf recently got funding in the market. So how exactly does it work? You have to choose the right mode of technology to go ahead and promote your products. So having a proper, let's say for example, having a proper e-commerce website in place, whether it's a WooCommerce or a Shopify, that's up to you. And most importantly, how exactly you are promoting that in the market. এখন মার্কেটে generally digital marketing is working more than anything else. If you are using digital marketing platform to promote your venture, you are actually surviving right now. If you are not doing that, it's pretty difficult to survive at present moment. Digital marketing, as in, like, most of us spend time on Facebook throughout the day, Instagram throughout the day, or rather throughout the day, maybe major part of the day we are spending online. So if you are going ahead and targeting your customer, if you are going ahead and promoting your product to a particular region যেখান থেকে তোমার মনে হয় তোমার customer base আসবে, then it enhances your chance to grow your business. You are giving yourself that particular window through which you can grow your business regardless of the fact that তোমার ভেঞ্চারের একটা লাইক একটা প্যান্ডেমিকের মতন ড্রাস্টিক সিচুয়েশন ফেস করছে. ইট ইজ আ ফ্যাক্ট দ্যাট ডিউরিং দিস লকডাউন পিরিয়ড দ্য ই-কমার্স ইন্ডাস্ট্রি হ্যাজ গ্রোন drastically. There is a reason behind it. They have utilized the digital marketing platform cleverly to grow ahead and grow the business. আমরা দেখি Amazon majorly grow করেছে. There's a reason behind it. They are selling online. Right now, at this present moment, if you want to grow your business, you have to go online. If you're not going for that, it will be pretty difficult for you to survive. And that's a reality. I deal with so many businesses internationally, as well as in the nation itself, and most of the people who are surviving the particular challenging situation, they have decided to go online, and they are thriving, to be very honest, because they are getting orders, they are delivering orders, and the government has also gone ahead and provided certain leeway for e-commerce industry. So here exactly my point stands that you need to go ahead and choose the right form of technology, right form of advertisement to go ahead and survive the present market challenges or survive the present situation. Because if you do not choose the right technology, তুমি যদি একদম পুরনো প্রথা হিসেবে আমি দোকান খুলবো, লকডাউনের সময় দোকান বন্ধ থাকবে, আমার ব্যবসা হচ্ছে না, then you are actually going ahead and succumbing to the present situation, the present challenging situation. So you have to choose the right form of promotion or technology. That is really important. Next point that you need to keep in mind is forming the right team. এগুলো সব ইনভেস্টর দেখবে যে তোমার টেকনোলজি কি ইউজ করছো, তোমার অ্যাডভার্টাইজমেন্টের ফর্ম কি, তোমার টিম মেম্বার্স কারা। দে উইল বি গোয়িং অ্যাহেড অ্যান্ড চেকিং তোমার টিম মেম্বারের কি কোয়ালিফিকেশনস আছে, তোমার টিম মেম্বারের তাদের কি কি এক্সপিরিয়েন্সেস আছে। কারণ যে ওয়েন লেটস সে আই এম ইনভেস্টিং অন আ পার্টিকুলার ভেঞ্চার, I will be going ahead and investing on not on the venture. Let's say even if I invest, let's say 60% on the venture, 40% I invest on the startup founder. That means the nature of the startup founder, the way he's approaching the particular venture, the sincerity. আমি যদি মনে করি আমি একজনকে 30 lakhs invest করে দিলাম, and after that the person is going to take 30 lakhs and is planning to buy his own car, is going to buy his own new iPhone, and is planning to go to Bangkok, although he cannot do it right now. But still, if I go ahead and feel the person is going to waste the money, I'm sorry, my money is not for wasting. If I had to waste it, I'll waste it myself. Why will I give it to you? So the point is this, that you play an important role in fetching the investment for your venture. So you need to go ahead and have the right members on board, যাদের experience আছে, যাদের even if experiences are not, তার experience যদি নাও থাকে, at least they are qualified enough to go ahead and help you to run the business, whether it's a co-founder or it's your team members or employees whom you're hiring. And on a personal note, it is not only for having an investor, it is also important for you to survive in the market. Because at times, what happens is that if you're having a co founder along with you who is not in the same track as you are in, most of the time the partnerships fail. Partnerships cannot survive if both the partners are not on the same page. As a result, অনেক বিজনেস বন্ধ হয়ে যায় স্টার্ট হওয়ার আগে। Then if you are having employees who are not honest and loyal to you, they will go ahead and be, your liability. That means they will go ahead and create situations যেখানে you will have to face a lot of challenges. Already being a startup founder, you will have a certain set of challenges on your plate. You do not need those unwanted challenges যেখানে ডেটা থেফট হওয়ার চ্যালেঞ্জ থাকে, যেখানে তোমার কাস্টমার ভেতর ভেতর তোমার সামনে একরকম নিজেকে রিপ্রেজেন্ট করছে, পিছনে গিয়ে তোমার কাস্টমারের কাছে আরেক রকম রিপ্রেজেন্ট করছে। ইউ ডু নট নিড টু হ্যাভ দিস পিপল অন board with you. These people will not help you to grow your business, but will actually lead you towards the closure of your venture. So you have to ensure যারা তোমার সঙ্গে কাজ করছে, they are loyal to you, they have the proper integrity, they have the proper idea about what exactly the business that you are running or operating, that particular business is planning to go ahead and generate, or the kind of experience you are planning to give to your customer. They are on the same page. If not, do not work with them, because it's বাংলা একটা কথা আছে যে if I'm not mistaken, যে দুষ্টু গরুর থেকে শূন্য গোয়াল ভালো. So you do not need to have that unwanted element in your venture, because that actually creates a lot of problems. Coming back to the investor point, they do go ahead and check your team members capability to go ahead and help you grow your business. If there is incapability members, they will not go ahead and help you to grow your business by giving you their money. As simple as that. Now we covered technology and importance of having a proper team member. This part, what I'm going to talk to you about right now, this is a very important part. But prior to that, I know I'm just presenting a lot of things at the same time and I'm going at a high speed. I just want to ask you, do you guys have any question? Are you guys understanding whatever I'm talking about? It's just a feedback that I want from you guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Pranjal. Okay, so the next point that I am going to talk about is creation of proper budget sheet. তোমার একটা বাজেট শিট তৈরি করতে লাগবে যেটা তুমি প্রেজেন্ট করবে নিজের ইনভেস্টরকে। Now in that budget sheet you will be having, like for example you'll be approaching an investor and you'll be saying, sir, I need an investment of, let's say, 10 lakhs for my venture. এবার ইনভেস্টর উইল বি আস্কিং ওয়াই, কেন 10 লাখ কেন লাগবে, কিসের জন্য লাগবে? সো অবভিয়াসলি ইউ নিড টু হ্যাভ আ প্রপার প্ল্যানিং, ইউ হ্যাভ টু এক্সপ্লেন টু দ্যাট পার্সন, না আমার এই জিনিসের জন্য লাগবে। ফর এক্সাম্পল, আমার 10 lakhs লাগবে আমার লিগাল এক্সপেন্সের জন্য, আমার 10 lakhs-এর মধ্যে এক্স অ্যামাউন্ট আমার লিগাল এক্সপেন্সে যাবে, সার্টেন অ্যামাউন্ট আমার অ্যাডভার্টাইজিংয়ে যাবে, সার্টেন অ্যামাউন্ট আমার টিমের স্যালারি দিতে যাবে, সার্টেন অ্যামাউন্ট আমি নিজের টিমকে ট্রেন করে স্ট্রং করব সেটার জন্য যাবে, সার্টেন অ্যামাউন্ট আমার প্রপার টিম মেম্বার রিক্রুট করতে যাবে, বা সার্টেন অ্যামাউন্ট আমার ইনফ্রাস্ট্রাকচারাল কস্টে যাবে। সো ইউ হ্যাভ টু গো হ্যাড অ্যান্ড শেয়ার your plan accordingly to the investor. One suggestion from my side, if you have an investor like me, if you want to have me on board, I get thousands of requests to go ahead and in a particular day on my LinkedIn profile যেখানে তারা অনেক রকমের প্রেজেন্টেশন পাঠায়। Now in the budget sheet, if the budget allocation you are not going ahead and asking for money how to grow your business, if you want to have an investor like me, I won't be interested, because most of them are looking forward to have investment for infrastructural purpose, which is good, but again is not something which, without which the business won't grow, because we know there are a lot of incubation centers, we know you can actually work from home, there are a lot of ways through which you can work. If you are looking forward to have investment to create your brand, because advertisement is something which is going to help you to create your brand, আমরা আজকে জেনারেলি সেই সব কোম্পানি থেকে কিনি যারা নিজেদের ব্র্যান্ড জেনারেট করে থাকে। আমাদের কাছে যদি কেউ, ফর এক্সাম্পল, if anyone approaches us and takes the name of KFC, why do we know KFC? Because they have spent that amount of money for their own branding, for their own marketing. So you have to, if you as a startup founder, you're approaching for an investor and going ahead and telling, I need X amount of money, majority of money for my own branding or for my own advertising so that people get to know me. Obviously branding and advertising is going to generate more customer. Obviously more customer means more revenue generation, more revenue generation means more fund means you have more capital or more working capital or more money with you in your account, which you can invest to have your own infrastructure or whatever expenses you have. That means the business itself becomes capable of going ahead and taking up its own cost. So you are actually strengthening your business in that way. That's how I go ahead and approach different startup owners. Now there are different investors, they have different approach. I shared my approach with you all. So you have to go ahead and create a proper breakdown, that is in form of a budget sheet, where you'll be explaining how exactly you will be utilizing the fund and what exactly will be the plan of your fund allocation. তুমি কিরম ভাবে allocate করবে নিজের fund plays a vital role in in growing your business, because if you're not allocating your funds properly, your business won't grow, and the investor also wants to ensure that you have a proper idea of going ahead and utilizing the money that he'll be giving you. So this is something which plays a very important role. আমার একটা সাজেশন থাকবে, জেনারেলি আমরা যেটা করি, ফর এক্সাম্পল আমি যেটা দেখেছি, most of the startups who approach me, one particular situation I shared it with you. Now there are situations where startups, they approach me and they say that, for example, they require 100 rupees. They go ahead and tell that, boss, give me 100 rupees, as simple as that. And that is something which, what should I say? It doesn't go well with me. Or for a matter of fact, we have a group of investors. It doesn't go well with any investor. So there is a trick, and I'm teaching you guys. So if you require 100 rupees, all right. So you go ahead and it's better to have certain investment on board. So you go ahead and say that, what, I require 100 rupees. I'll give 30 from myself. I need 70 from you. I cannot go ahead and manage getting the remaining 70 rupees. So, what I need is 70 rupees. That's all from you guys. Now, the investor, even if the investor is not giving you 70 rupees, the investor decided to give you 45 rupees. The remaining 35, or whatever is the remaining amount for 70, the person will give reference to another investor. And obviously the reference plays an important role, because there is an investor community or connection between two investors, because there are a lot of events যেখানে ইনভেস্টররা যায় একেবারে সঙ্গে, they network, they go ahead and talk to each other. So what happens is that the particular reference plays a very important role, and you can actually go ahead and get the funding. May not be 100, but you can get 70. So again, if you're intelligent enough, you can actually get 100 by going ahead and saying I require 130. But again, you need to go ahead and support whatever amount that you are asking for with proper figures on board, proper planning, proper budget sheet. All these things should be in place. So your approach towards your investor depends on your planning. একটা investment power জন্য just you can go, if you walk up to an investor and say that, you know what, I need this amount of money, the investor is not going to listen to you. The investor is going to listen to you when you have papers to support whatever you are going ahead and saying, whatever you are trying to represent yourself as, সেগুলো সব supporting documents থাকে, then only they'll be interested to take the entire deal to the next level. Now there are different funding companies. তোমরা যদি a particular nature of business থেকে belong করো, for example তুমি যদি FMCG থেকে belong করো, you can go for RPG ventures. তোমরা যদি there are other funding companies like Sequoia Capital, Axel Partners, as in if you are running an e-commerce venture, তাহলে তোমার অ্যাক্সেল পার্টনারদের কাছে. So in that way you need to go ahead and approach the right kind of investor. কারণ যে তুমি for example আমার কাছে যদি কেউ আসে, person is planning to run an agro, like want to grow the venture in agro industry, agricultural industry, and wants an investment from me, I won't be interested. I won't even listen to that person, because I'm not from that industry. I don't have any idea. I will not be able to go ahead and help that person in that particular industry. I'm from technical industry. I'm a tech entrepreneur. So I can go ahead and invest on a technical venture, but not in an agricultural venture. So you need to approach the right kind of investor, যেটা অনেক সময় অনেকে ভুল করে। আমি কারণ যে অনেকে ফ্রাস্ট্রেশনের মধ্যে, because they want investor on board, they go ahead and randomly send like request for investment to XYZ investors. But again, you need to ensure you have the right kind of people on board, because right kind of people will not only give you money but will also mentor you, will also help you to have other networking or other contacts in the similar field. আমার কাছে টেকনিক্যাল কন্ট্যাক্টস আছে, তোমরা যদি কেউ ইনকিউবেশন চাও, আই ক্যান অ্যারেঞ্জ ফর দ্যাট। ইফ ইউ গাইজ আর অ্যাপ্রোচিং মি দ্যাট ওকে স্যার, আই ডোন্ট ওয়ান্ট ফান্ডিং, আই ওয়ান্ট ইউ টু মেন্টর মাই business, I can help you in that if it's in technical aspect. But again, if you are asking me to mentor you, if you're in agricultural industry, I won't be able to help you because I don't have any idea. So an investor doesn't have idea about every field. Just because he has money doesn't mean that he'll have idea about everything. So you need to approach the right kind of investor, and it is also important for you, because আমরা অনেক সময় the main mistake যেটা আমরা করে থাকি, we want to have an investor on board, we are all excited, yes, we want to have an investor on board, but again it is very important to have the right kind of investor on board. That is very important, যেটা startups, most of the startups miss out on, because if you do not have the right kind of investor, they can actually hamper your entire business. And for a startup founder, the entire startup is like his or her own baby. I deal with so many startup founders. I myself was a startup founder in the year 2014. So I know the kind of emotion that you have associated with your own startup. So when someone is saying something bad about your startup, or someone is actually misusing your startup, you take it personally. It hurts here. It's like your own baby. So that is the kind of love that you have for your startup. Now if you do not have, the right kind of investor on board, it's like, তোমার নতুন you have given birth to a baby boy or a baby girl, and you are not having the right kind of what should I say, caretaker for that, for your child. So that is equivalent to that, because if you are a startup owner, your startup is your own baby. That is the emotion that we have. So make sure that you have the right kind of investor on board, because not everybody will be an appropriate investor for you. You need to judge the person as well, because অনেক startup ওনারা মনে করে যে আমি ইনভেস্টরের কাছে যাচ্ছি, that person is a great investor, my god, he if he joins our team it will be good. Maybe it's good, but again you also have to join. You are a startup owner. Even you, maybe few years down the line, even you will be an investor, right? So you are nowhere less to a startup investor. And আমার মনে হয় না কোনো ইনভেস্টর ওরম ভাবে অ্যাপ্রোচ নিয়েও দেখে, but again that's a particular lesson that I have learned it myself, and I want to share it with you. Make sure you go ahead and choose the right investor. Even you have the right to choose. Okay. Other than this, the main point that you have to keep in mind, that is presenting the entire thing. আমরা যেগুলো সব ডিসকাস করলাম এখনো পর্যন্ত, we have to present it to the investor. So how do we do that? We have to create the right, the term is pitch deck. Pitch means saying, deck means presentation. So we need to go ahead and create the right kind of presentation. The right kind of presentation means আমরা যেগুলো সব ডিসকাস করলাম, all these things will be mentioned in that particular deck. Like how much fund is needed, why do you need the fund, what is your market, what is your market reach, ROI, profitability, whatever I covered right now. All those things should be presented, and they should be supported with proper documents, so that when the investor is actually going ahead and going through it, the person sees that you are well informed about your market. One thing, you should always be well marked up about your industry. Do not ever tell that you do not have competition, because every particular service or product that you are offering, there is some or the other competition. সেটার ব্যাপারে, if you are well aware about it, it actually creates a positive impression for your investor, because that person feels that okay, this person knows the market, the person knows the competitor, how exactly they are performing in the market. That actually gives confidence to the investor, in the sense like, nah, okay, fine, this person has studied this particular market in that way, so he can actually go ahead and he has an idea what exactly is the negative side of this market, so I can trust this guy. He has better idea about it. So this kind of impression is really required if you want to have that trust of the investor. So never go ahead and give fake, unrealistic expectation. Never go ahead and say that okay, there's no competition, because you know what, the person who is investing on your business, the person is sitting in front of you, is there because of a reason. The person has either he has gone through the entire process. If he's like me, I have gone through startups. I haven't had my own startup. I deal with so many startups. I see a lot of startups failing on a day to day basis. And the reason they fail is because they lack proper strategy, proper planning, proper confidence. But again, if you have all these things in place, proper financial planning, if you do not burn out your cash, these things play a vital role for your startup to survive in the long run. So these are the things you have to keep in mind. You need to have proper team information, competitor information. You need to be honest about your current financial status of the company. Obviously, if your company is not earning profit and you go ahead and say that it's a 100 crore company, it doesn't make any sense, because the investor will be, আমার সঙ্গে কথা হলো, maybe I will be going ahead and believing you right now, but I'm going to invest. I'm going to go ahead and do a background check. That is something I'm obviously going to do. I mean, all right, fine. I like you, you like me, that is okay. But I'm an investor. I have to do a background check. You will go ahead and come and tell me that my business is doing this, my business is doing that. I will not go ahead and buy it until I do ahead and do a background check if whatever you're saying is true or not. And in the long run, when you guys will be in the kind of position as an investor, even you guys will be doing the same. আমরা একটা ব্যাংকেও ইনভেস্ট করার আগে 10 বার দেখে নিই কত ইন্টারেস্ট রেট আসছে, আমি যদি এখানে আসি আমার টাকাটা এখানে বেরিয়ে যাবে না তো. সো দিজ আর দ্য মেইন থিংস উইচ উই অল ডু, বিকজ সামওয়্যার in all of us there's something called investor. আমরা সবাই ইনভেস্টার। এবার বিজনেসে স্টার্টআপে ইনভেস্ট করছে, কেউ কেউ এঞ্জেল ইনভেস্টর হয়, কেউ ভেঞ্চার ক্যাপিটালিস্ট হয়। দে আর ইন দি এন্ড অফ দ্য ডে ডুইং দ্য সেম থিং, দে আর ইনভেস্টিং. So they will be doing a background check, and at that point of time, if they find that you have given false information, fake information, then that creates a negative impact, and obviously that's not good for your venture. So you have to keep all these things in mind. And obviously, once you start going ahead and getting investments on board, first investment crack করার পরে you can, because you know what, a startup cannot depend only on one investment. If the startup founder wants to grow, like if we go ahead and consider Wow Momo key, the basic thing is this: they are running a Momo counter. where they are actually going ahead and experimenting on different flavors, and they're offering different flavored momo to the customer. But again, they went ahead and started growing their venture by going ahead and having different franchisee. They chose the franchisee model, and they started going ahead and growing, and now it's a $1 billion business. And that happened because of the investment, the series of investment it attracted in different countries or through different investors. So you need to ensure that you have the right investor on board, can show the right traction, can show all the things which I discussed. You need to ensure that you meet up to that, and you will get the investment. It's not rocket science, but again, you need to ensure that you have all those things in place. Now, যখন investment এসে যায়, for example, you guys crack an investment. To give you an idea what happens after that, after that, an investor signs a term sheet with you where there's a legal understanding of whatever you have offered and whatever the investor has agreed to pay and get in return. That particular term sheet is signed. That's a legal aspect. Again, you need to have a proper legal advisor on board. So startup এর জন্য CA, our legal advisor, is mandatory. You need to have a proper legal advisor and CA on board in order to go ahead and make your startup grow. And after that, you have to go through due diligence. So due diligence is required because সেখানে investor will be doing the background checking, balance sheet checking, profit and loss sheet checking. All these things will be done by the investor before the person releases the fund to you. And obviously, it is suggested that তোমরা যারা মানে করবে shareholder agreement, whatever is the thing that you guys will be doing with your investor after you get the investment, in order to build the rapport with your investor, go ahead and share their progress report, or the growth report, the report about the progress that you are actually reaching, কিরম ভাবে fund allocate করেছো. Keep your investor updated. It helps you to build rapport with the investor. It helps you to grow your relationship with the investor. And most importantly, তোমার যদি further investment লাগে, you never know, that investor might be going ahead and investing further on your venture, or if he doesn't, he can refer someone else to do that. Okay, so these are the basic things about investment. Investment is something, or rather getting an investor on board is something which is not rocket science, but again, you need to be well equipped. I think that's the best way to go ahead and frame the entire process. So I hope that I have been able to explain to you what is funding and how exactly the funding happens in the world of startup. Any questions, anyone?
Yes, sir. I have a question. Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
So, sir, as we all know that the meeting field a person can do startup, but still I want to ask a question. I have a question in my mind. That do you think that most of the startups or most of the entrepreneurs will come from technical background in future in the upcoming centuries? Because there are lots of things coming from the technical world, big data, AI. So, do you think that there will be advantage? Is it necessary, or is it necessary to have a proper or depth technical knowledge to
Good
have a
question,
successful
Hemant. I understood your question. Yes, it is recommended, highly recommended, that you have a technical idea. Why? Because the future is all about technology. AI is being invented. There are a lot of things which is happening where technology plays a vital role. Even if you look at, uh, for example, food industry. Even in food industry, technology is playing a vital role. We are ordering food through Swiggy. Swiggy is what? Swiggy is an app which has been developed with the help of
sorry, but
technology. Yes, go ahead.
sorry for interrupting. Actually, your voice is breaking, so I was not able to hear you any words. So I would request you to please repeat
Sure, sure.
once.
I'll repeat
Now I can
myself.
hear.
I'll repeat myself. See, what I'm trying to say out here is that yes, it's recommended for you to have proper technical knowledge. If you do not have technical knowledge, you need to have someone on board who has that technical knowledge, whom you can rely on. Because regardless of the fact which industry you belong from, the technical aspect plays a vital role. For example, I was telling you right now about Swiggy. So Swiggy is dealing with food industry. So if you are in food industry, obviously ranna korte, if when you are going to cook, आपको टेक्निकल स्टफ का ज़रूरत नहीं होता है, लेकिन वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करने के लिए वो ऐप बनाया गया है, वो जो टेक्निकल चीज़ से ही बनाया गया है. So what happens is this, that you need that technical aspect for the growth of your business and to make the entire flow of the business easier for your own company. And if you are well equipped technically, it also helps you to reduce your expense to a great extent, because it helps you to monitor a lot of things easily. It helps you to keep things in your hand and also helps you to grow. So if you're not well aware technically yourself, you can have someone on board who can help you with that. That answer your second question. First question, to be an entrepreneur, if technical knowledge is required, no. To be an entrepreneur, you need to have proper business acumen. Technical, if technical skill was mandatory to be an entrepreneur, today we wouldn't have got Dhirubhai Ambani. Simple.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
But
Any other?
I was just talking about the future only because
Right.
most of the
No, in
things are
future,
coming
see,
from content.
if
Yeah.
you're an entrepreneur, you can have people working for you, all right, even if you're not
Yeah.
technically savvy, right?
Yes. Yes.
Technical aspect will be mandatory, but again, even if you're not technically savvy, you can be entrepreneur, because you can hire
Absolutely.
someone who is going to take care of that,
Yes.
right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions, anyone?
So, as you say that all the things should be properly given to the investor for taking the budget, and if you have said if I need 100 rupees, I am telling that I can afford 30 rupees and give the other 70 rupees. And if that person give me just 45 rupees and refer me another one, so is there it will be any kind of problem to have two investor or something like that?
Not really. I mean, as long as you are actually being clear to your investor that, okay, you are having, let's say, you have taken one particular investment from one particular investor, all right, and you are having another investor on board. As long as both the investors are well aware that they exist, it is absolutely fine. But again, you have to keep one thing in mind when you're offering the share, the profit share, or whatever you're offering to your investor. You need to have something for yourself as well. So plan that particular part out, because most of the time what happens is that if you have two investors on board and you are trying to attract both of them, you are giving out majority of your profit, then you will not have anything, no meaning in working, because then as a startup founder you'll not be earning anything, right? So you have to plan it out accordingly.
Got it, sir. And sir, for all these things for budget setting and the amount I need or the accounts part, for all these things means we need a personally CA, something
Absolutely,
translate.
absolutely. You need a CA for going ahead and arranging everything, because your financial condition, your financial state, everything. Because see, if you consider, even if you approach the bank for a loan, all right, let's talk about that. If you go to the bank, they will be going ahead and checking your credit score. They would be checking your financial status, your last few months bank balance, and all these things. So these things are generally required, and for that as well you need to consult CA at times. So when you are getting an investment for your venture, you need to have a proper CA on board, so that he or she can prepare the entire paperwork for you, which can help you to go ahead and support whatever you're going to present to your investor.
And sir, as per you, being a person, not an investor, which one is much better? Means taking a bank loan and starting a startup, or taking the investor for the startup?
Good question. Well, I'm completely against taking a bank loan, because you will not even realize the bank will be charging hefty interest. All right, you have taken 2 lakhs, you'll be returning nearly 2 lakh 50, 60,000, or nearly 3 lakh rupees. No meaning in that. Rather, you have an investor on board. Why? Because an investor can refer you to other investors, and they can actually go ahead and help you to get more investment coming on board. That's number one. And number two, if you are going for a bank loan, they will not be giving you a private loan like just like that. They'll be checking your transactions, etc. And the other thing is this: if you are going for unsecured loan, there's nothing called unsecured loan. And if it's a secured loan, either you have to go for mortgage or you have to keep your gold, anything. Why get into so much of hassle? Approach an investor with your dream, with your figures, right figures, you'll get everything. Why going ahead and putting everything on stake with the bank?
Got it, sir. And one more thing, means I have a something of the idea for the future, means pain point that you have said. So for that, thinking of working in the future and discussing a little bit of the product.
Mhm.
So what do you say? First, to complete the idea or make a minimum amount of static size of that thing, and then go for an investment.
Create an MVP for yourself, and based on that you can go ahead and approach the investor. Keep it in the beta state. Have something to show to the investor that okay, this is what exactly I'm looking at. If you want to impress the investor more, you can actually go ahead and initiate it and generate a bit of traction. And even if you do not do that, just create the MVP, create the entire thing in the beta stage, and approach the investor and explain what exactly you are expecting. Just ensure you have the paperwork and plannings, everything in place.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Hello, sir.
Hey, hi Dipan. Yes, tell me.
Yeah, sir, I'm asking, suppose someone having a business, like local business, and how to take that business into a startup or like some sort of some sort. I personally have a travel business, okay,
Okay.
and how do I compete with make my trip and go I will go, etc.
Okay, that's a good question. Well, it depends on your business strategy, but if you ask me, see, first of all, if you go for like if you target competing with GoIBibo and Make My Trip, you need to have that kind of portal ready for yourself. So technically, you need to have those things in place. After that, you need to come up with different strategies or offers for your customers to attract them. Why exactly people will choose you over Make My Trip? Let's say if a person is getting same product at the same price, why will they go ahead and choose you over Make My Trip? Because you are new to the market. At least Make My Trip has that goodwill and market reputation. So out there you need to, like, for example, whenever you will be seeing a new particular product is launched, let's say, forget about product, let's talk about Geo. When Geo was launched, it was made free for so many months, right? So people started switching from Vodafone, Airtel to Geo. So they had a particular USP. Now, considering it's Mukesh Ambani, he can manage to give stuffs free of cost. Obviously, we are startups, we cannot offer things free of cost. So in that case, you need to go ahead and offer things to your customer. You can tie up with other brands, like if you consider Paytm offers, let's say, cashback coupon, or different coupons. If you make this amount of transaction, you get this as a price. So you have to make it lucrative and make your customers feel special. And whoever is coming ahead and taking your service, just document that in form of video, or note down the testimonial. You need to have a strong online presence, and if you are persistent and patient enough, you will make it. That's what I believe.
Okay, so thank you. And also, I'm asking, is it a good idea to work for some time and then start a business or startup, or just go for it?
See, I will suggest, considering I have been there, I know. I worked myself for a few years before I started my own venture. So I would always recommend you to work, because I will not see, startup is a passion. Startup is something which we all, whoever is an enthusiast, we all want to have our own vision coming into shape. But again, at the same time, we should not forget, we all need money to survive. We need money to take care of our family, and we have other stuffs to take care of. So yes, if you want to work and if you have certain responsibility, go ahead with it. Just try going ahead and saving a certain amount for your dream project, whatever you are doing side by side, so that you can eventually start out. When you'll be starting your own thing, you can depend on something at that point of time.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Yes, Pramit.
Who is
Pramit
this?
there. Yeah.
Uh, Hello.
Promit.
Good
Okay.
afternoon.
Yeah, hi.
Actually, I have been working with my company. Like I've been an entrepreneur since last 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
Uh, I have been working in the power generation sector like NTPC, BHEL, well, MPPGL, WBPDCL. So what we were doing is we were bootstrapping it. So what fund I have allocated from my previous company, we were bootstrapping it, and now it has come to a point where we want to expand, but we don't have that fund to go along with it. Okay. because we are getting a plan that we will be working pan India. Okay, and providing solutions for this energy sector. Okay, so just to make it a point that in this COVID period, every sector was hampered except the generation sector, the power generation. Okay, and we have been targeting this sector for the last 3 4 years.
Okay.
And in the upcoming sector also, in the EV section, there will be more power sectors. The EV section will be more dependent on the power section for the cars that every Tata Motors are launching, every Mahindra is launching.
Right.
So now we have been growing our company. Like last year, last financial year, we had a turnover of nearly 41 lakhs. Okay. So now what we were planning to get some investors, but we have been talking to some of the investors. So there comes a point where they are wanting an equity share. Okay. So I just want to know, in case of this equity share, how much does people claim? The investors claim, the angel investors claim. Like two, three investors I got also, they were asking about 40% of the company share.
Okay.
Okay, so it was just because it is growing. For example, we have given them the profit and loss statement, the
Right.
turnover
Right.
certificate from the chartered accountant, because as per their sharing with us, they have said that they are getting that first in the first year we had only 5 lakhs, then it came 31 lakhs, 13 lakhs, then 31, then it's at 41 right now. Okay, and we were hitting a point where the market is all not blank, but almost blank, because for testing of coal, there are a lot of instruments are being used.
Okay.
Okay, and for that, very few there are companies, but there are very few companies who are hitting on the ground.
Okay.
And, uh,
So, what
hitting
is your
that point
question?
and getting the investment. What the question is, like, I am getting stuck after this bootstrapping, because I have invested my money, and then I have get orders and accomplish that.
Right.
For new orders, there is today I'm in a saturation point where I cannot bootstrap. Okay, so I need some investors so that I can expand my business.
Right. So you said that you
Okay,
already got an investor who is ready to go ahead and give you money in exchange of 40% of the equity share, right?
uh, 40% of equity share.
Is that something you're not comfortable with?
So yes, I am not comfortable with that, because normally is that because 40% I am ready to give, not a problem with that. But he will only invest because there are a lot of technical things. I have to visit everything. So can I bargain with that equity, or it's a
Absolutely.
standard of the
Negotiation,
market?
there is a room of negotiation for you with the investor. Go ahead and show your points. Whatever you just told me right now, you go ahead and present that this is what exactly we are looking at. And the best we can do is that we can offer this, whatever you're comfortable with. Obviously, the key is, let's say you are comfortable at 30%, let's say, and you go ahead and say, "Oh, I'm comfortable at 25," so that the investor comes up to the point of 30 on its own, or comes up to the point of 35, and you said that, okay, fine, let's close it in 30. So it completely depends on your negotiation skill, how exactly you're presenting. So let's say if your key figure is 30, go ahead and put a figure 25 and then start negotiation. If the person is interested in the business, which I believe he should be, then you go ahead and negotiate, because negotiation will help. And he has given that figure 40, keeping in mind that you will negotiate. That's what it is, I believe.
Uh, okay, okay. So sir, do you have? We will share all the details with you in case if you are interested with
See, as I
investing
said,
with
that
us.
this is an industry
Also,
I.
but your segment is different.
Right.
Because I have been working with Tech Mahindra from Elitte only. I have passed and got a placement. I have worked with Tech Mahindra for 3 years.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so I know the tech things. I have been in IT. I have been with SBI. My project was with SBI.
Okay.
Okay, then I have changed my field from that to this one, and we have plans of expanding. So I would like to share all the details of my company with you, along with some work orders, purchase orders.
You
Okay,
share it with
so
me.
that
Even if I'm not interested, I will refer you to an investor
hmm,
because we are
definitely,
connected.
sir,
I will
that is the most.
refer you to
Hmm,
an investor who might be
uh,
interested.
well,
Okay.
oh,
Okay.
okay,
Sure.
okay.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you. Well, I guess it's already 12:49. I believe there's no other question. Is there any other question? I can take a last question if there is anyone else.
Yeah, Shantan, are you present here in this meeting?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay, Shantan, would you like to ask any question?
No, actually, now I don't have right now any questions because I guess the time is over so I can ask some question personally to Industry sir. So I'm working in electric EV startup. In past 3 years, I'm in Bangalore. I passed also from Elite Institute of Engineering. So let's catch up afterwards, and we will have some discussion. If sir doesn't have any problem.
I do not have any problem. I love talking to like startup enthusiasts. So you can be in touch,
One
no
more little
problem.
question.
Yes, Hemant.
Yeah, so sir, if I'm doing a startup and how can I'm hiring some people for my company and how can I trust them with my plan? How can I secure my plan?
The answer is that you do not trust anyone with your clients. If you're a startup, do not trust anyone with your clients because you're not in a situation, you do not know someone who is in your team who is also a startup enthusiast and is looking forward,
Yeah,
doesn't have fun to go ahead and start his own venture, will take your client and run away. What will you do then?
yeah. As you said just few minutes ago that if you have any technique tech savvy guy, because I have a friend of mine who's
Hmm.
also he's also making an app actually,
Okay.
just like Zomato. So he's also making an app. If I hire him for technical things for my startup, so is it I mean is it safe to hire him?
First of all, is he your friend? You're saying if he is your friend, you must be knowing whether it's safe or not. I'm not in the position to say if it will be safe or
I
not.
understand.
But I can tell you this much, have a legal understanding because when it comes to financial thing, there is no one called friend, no one is called enemy. Anything can happen anytime. Have a legal understanding, get it clear, have a proper understanding, get yourself protected because nothing is better than being protected because I have seen friendship of 25 years changing into something else out of jealousy. So yeah, so go ahead and have a proper legal protection for yourself, and if it's possible, have everything under your control. Get your server. Maybe you're not technically savvy, but you can buy your server. You have your login details, your own security. Get it done in your server, and have entire access yourself because server thing is the main thing. So you have the entire control, username, password to yourself. And yes, if your friend is doing it, that's very good, but have a legal understanding.
Or we can also start. I mean, we can also do a legal agreement, right?
That's what
We
I'm
can do
saying.
that.
Have a legal agreement or
Yeah.
legal understanding with him.
Yes, I understand. Thank you.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chatterjee, for your wonderful session.
My
But
pleasure.
I'd like to end the session with a vote of thanks from IAC President Sir Chandan Chaudhary sir. Sir, are you there?
Yes, madam. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Okay, madam. Good afternoon, everyone. Our honorable guest, faculty members, our
Good
ISC
afternoon.
convener, madam, and our beloved students. Today's session was presented by honorable guest, truly more informative.
Thank you.
I found the session is very interesting and even learned something new. And I also believe our students get knowledge on these topics. Which is our objective to encourage our students to be a future entrepreneur that is more important in today's world. Thanks again, sir, and thanks all of you, and thanks our honorable speaker again for your wonderful presentation.
My
We are
pleasure.
grateful to you for accepting our invitation and becoming the speakers of today's event. Thank you again, sir, and thank you, everyone. Thank you, madam. Over to you, madam.
Thank you so much for
Uh,
inviting. I had a good time talking to all of you. All right.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
okay, Mr. Chatterjee, can I share your phone number to one of the students. He actually asks your phone number.
Yeah, you share the phone number, but whoever he is, please kindly WhatsApp me before you give a call, because I don't pick up unknown calls, and most of the time, this number, what you have, stays with my team member, my assistant. So do WhatsApp me, and I'll give you the time. You can get in touch with me accordingly. Okay.
Okay.
So you have that mail ID, so maybe if we have something, we can make.
You can, yeah, absolutely. You can email me or contact me on LinkedIn as well. Just mention that you are from contacting me from this session, so that I can give special attention accordingly.
Okay, okay, fine.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
once again. Thank you once again, Mr. Indrashish Chatterjee, for your wonderful session, and thank you, students, for your patient hearing. So here I am ending the session. Thank you so much once again, all
Th-
of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
मेघा कोई गलत আমার গলা ঝরে গেছে সিরিয়াসলি
You left the meeting. Left করার আগে তো